All right, as far as the Russell goes, a little bit down, a little bit up. If you guys watched last night's video, then you know this is how the whole market played out, by the way. I was short ES and I was in SPY put contracts. I guess we're getting ahead of ourselves. Had you taken a similar play in this, would have panned out. We sold off today, and a lot of people were really worried about this because there was no news, and it melted down more in some of the other ones. Ultimately getting nowhere, kind of right back to where we started the week, and then we bounced at the end of the day pretty bullish. So just not forgetting the fact that we are still, we're getting to a real time frame. So we still have this leg down, and you'll see it more on the other ones. We're still kind of just inside this dead cat bounce, but we kind of had that grind up right here. Of them all, I think the Russell probably looks the strongest, the less weakest. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'd be bullish this. I'm not in it, but if I had to take a play right now, I'd be bullish. I would keep an eye out for this level right up here. And if CPI were to send us that tomorrow, it's probably where I would go short. It'll come out an hour before open. So we might see something like that happening. I will say I'm thinking green reaction, but to keep in mind just for this whole video, I'm thinking green reaction, and that's going to be probably my short entry, unless new data comes out and I have to take that into consideration. But so far we've done nothing. We kind of talked about this just dancing around until the until we got CPI tomorrow, PPI Thursday. Let's make that red. But I've drawn these out on multiple on all of these actually. Can't really talk about much till we break above or below that range. NASDAQ just went zone to zone today. So massive sell off. There's that range we have highlighted. Let's just make that red. So all lines up. All right. Massive sell off. And then we had the dead cat bounce, just back and forth. Today we played the zone to zone game. So zone to zone, zone to zone. That's it. I do think tomorrow will set us up for probably a break up to this higher end, if I'm right. A breakdown would kind of just push us down here and probably just lead to further weakness. At that point, and we talked about this, the NASDAQ very sideways for some time. But how many times are we going to knock on one of these doors before we finally kick our way through? And if we're right here and CPI does send it down here, I don't know if I'd be buying the dip on that one because I think each time we do this, we're just testing the buyers. And eventually we will run out. Again, nothing with Qs. Massive move down, dead cat bounce up, chopping around, and tomorrow will probably dictate the direction that we go. Albeit it might be just to one zone and then a rejection, both up or down. S&P was the one I was in, so we sold off, dead cat bounce, got above this zone. Now I went short, told you guys I put my stop above this blue zone, so I didn't tag out, which thankfully that did. So when we popped up, I had right at the bell grabbed SPY puts. I was in the 519s. Yeah, 519s. SPY puts. So I'm in that, and I'm short an ES contract. And then we get the absolute just meltdown out of nowhere. And it was great. So that went from, because this was actually red to very green. And I told my Chaz, like, yeah, I'm hanging out. Hang on. And I don't know. It just felt weird. I usually trail everything, but we started getting just too big. So I ended up locking that in. Now I did take a long play ES, but I also went long a call later, which if you are in the if you're in like the Patreon or you're in the mentorship group and you're following the account, that was our first day trade, as a matter of fact. So our first day trade, I told you guys I was buying Thursday 520 strike calls for the S&P. We paid 170 by it was 175. Now I'd actually been, I don't know if we should just short AT&T or not. Signal absolutely sucked. Today was struggling. I would make a post and it would show up later. So depending on when you got the alert, you might have agreed with the analysis because it's not a call out service. I just talk about everything I'm doing. You might have agreed got in a little bit later. You might have even gotten in a little bit cheaper. It's actually right around here. So it should have been like you paid a little bit more, got it for a little bit less, and then absolutely went nuts at the end of the day. Now, my original post was I'm going to sell this tomorrow up or down. This is a CPI thing, and I'm thinking I'm going to sell this tomorrow at the bell. And then it just ran and went nuts. And so I didn't even close this actually. So the market for me closes at 3. This actually closed. I closed this at 313. So it was my first. I've never actually closed an options contract outside of hours before. That was the first one. So I went ahead and closed that. So I bought it at 174, sold it for, hang on. When I say 300, let me just show you guys what that looks like. Growth account. So total cost 173 and 3 cents. So just know that I round on the 3 cent mark. So it's limit buy, good for the day, 10:53 a.m. A little bit up, a little bit down, and then we sold this 313, 2.99 minus $3 minus the 3 cents. So that was the first day trade in the growth account. Last year we didn't take our first day trade until it was an Nvidia short that was up 50%. This particular one happened to be up 75%, so I went ahead and just took risk off the table, and we're good.